as a very challenging teenager myself, this is me at 15, probably not as challenging as Shane, but still pretty challenging. As a challenging teenager, I would be loath to offer any parents teenage parenting advice, but I am going to be focusing today on teenagers for two reasons. First, and I'm speaking to you all as business people here, because they represent a very significant market, worth 100 billion euros, and this is in Africa, the Middle East, and Europe combined. And second, because if you want to plan for the success of your business over the next 2 decades, you need to deeply understand this generation and understand how profoundly different they are to previous ones. For this generation, the world is less oyster, more Hobbesian nightmare, dystopian, unequal, harsh. So how is this manifesting? Well, first, what we see is that this generation is profoundly anxious. And I'm not just talking about the typical teenage anxieties of boyfriends, girlfriends, homework, peer pressure, parents. This generation may be called the selfie generation, but it's important to realize that they're not actually selfish. It's a generation that is passionate about volunteering, about campaigning, about giving money to charity, more so than other generations. It's a generation that refuses to be the passive victim of the future that we have bequeathed to them. Instead, they are determined to be agents for change, actively co-creating a better future for all of us. And they are profoundly concerned about inequality. In fact, out of all their concerns, all their worries, and we know that they are very anxious, one of the things they are most concerned about is inequality. Gender inequality, racial inequality, economic inequality, transgender inequality. 80% of this generation support transgender rights. When you're trying to engage with this generation, is that it's absolutely critical to be transparent. Transparent nowadays isn't a smart strategy. I would argue it's a necessary strategy. If you're to truly understand this generation, Generation K, it's essential to make sure that you're using the right tools to do so. I mean, how many millions of euros do you in this room spend every year on market research? In Europe, companies spend 16 billion euros every year on market research. But how much have you thought about whether the tools that are being used are fit for purpose for this generation? Thank you.